The style was able to develop when I stopped trying to do maneuvers and stopped trying to like tear the wave apart, when I just wanted to like become a part of the wave. I encourage people to just stand there and feel their heart open, and whatever they want to do with their arms, let it fly. Be the bird that we all have inside of us. It's the moments in between the maneuvers that I feel like style can really shine. We say tuck the tush, push the bush.
How do you think about style? Because I think you have one of the most unique rad styles, and it's so distinct, and I feel like, there's a ton of surfers that cookie cutter is probably maybe a wrong way of putting it, but, like people's styles there's a lot of conformity in style, but yours is pretty radical, but it's awesome. Like how should people think about developing their own personal style?
I think for me, what allowed me to discover my own style was actually when I stopped competing for the World Longboard Tour and I started riding single fins. And then I think the first soul arch I ever did, I was like, oh my God, that felt so cool. Not cool. I didn't feel like, oh, look at me now, I'm cool. It felt like the sensation in my body felt unreal. And I think developing our own style is what makes our heartbeat, what excites us. And when I was in my early 20s, it was like, okay, I'm into longboarding, I'm into shortboarding. Airs really, I don't think that that's part of my game. I'm not going to put my desire and push to progress into learning to do airs because I didn't feel drawn to that element. Now I'm looking back like, oh, it would have been really cool to be able to look at that section and go, oh, I'm going to punt. Because now, like, instead of kicking out, like I probably would normally do, it would be like the section that I'm going for. But for me, what brings me the most joy on a wave is literally standing there and like going fast. It's that simple. And if we can learn to stand there and go fast off of like one pump or two pumps and just trim and highline or just enjoy a really long, drawn-out bottom turn. Or for me, the style was able to develop when I stopped trying to do maneuvers and stopped trying to like tear the wave apart, when I just wanted to become a part of the wave. And then I think certain boards help, because if I was on, shortboard thrusters the whole time, then there's only so much like you can soul arch on a shortboard thruster. Those boards need to be pumped, and they need constant rail engagement in order to keep their speed and to fly like they can. But for all the people out there, it's really, I encourage people to just stand there and feel their heart open, and whatever they want to do with their arms, let it fly. Like, be the bird that we all have inside of us. And if doing maneuvers and cutbacks and carves or off the lips or airs or whatever it is your thing, it's the moments in between the maneuvers that I feel like style can really shine. The way that you pump and make speed, or the way that you hold your posture when you are standing up, or the way that you're stalling in the barrel, or all of these things, I don't know, but also mixed with dance. My sister was a prima ballerina for many years growing up. So I watched a lot of ballet and like really recognized how extension and posture is everything in dance. And it almost seemed like the focus on posture kind of went to the wayside. And thank God for Stephanie Gilmore, because she's been like this through line of elegant posture while shredding, while absolutely like putting shortboards to the test and doing carves with so much power. But how do you look so beautiful when you're doing that? What is the elements of what makes that look so beautiful? It's a combination of arms and hands and hips and knees and all these different things that you can't be like, it's not like an overnight thing, and it's not something you can force. It's just, I think, something that you have to keep practicing to allow. And for myself, it's mostly trying to get out of my own way and not over demand my body, and just allow my body to move the way that it wants to in the moment. Because surfing, it's so fast. In a moment, it's like the wave's dead. Oftentimes, if you're in Florida. But on waves, most people don't get to surf like a minute long point break. And if you do, God bless you. Gosh. But it is, just kind of allowing ourselves to get out of our own heads and just, if we can feel good just standing there. That was some of the first advice, that one of the first conversations I ever had with Jerry Lopez. He was pointing out some people that were surfing, and he's like, I never understood why people try and do these radical maneuvers before they can even just stand there and look good.
True. Yeah.
And so true. Like, there's so much emphasis on doing the maneuver without any emphasis on the posture whilst doing the maneuver. So I would say, yeah, focus on your hips. With the surf retreats that I do with Cassia, we came up with a really funny slogan that I think is really helpful to get the stink bug stance out of our protocol, or, out of the natural way that often people stand when they first start surfing. And we say, tuck the tush, push the bush. But it works.
Nice.
And
works.
that little tilt of the pelvis makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Of your ability to maneuver. But I think the key of what it does is it connects the upper body to the lower body. Because if you're hinged at the hips and your butt's sticking out, then it separates the upper body from the lower body, and we're not able to really utilize the whole thing in one locomotive system.
Right.
So yeah, I would say most emphasis is on the hips, especially if you're a female surfer. We can learn to, use our hips and learn to find that dance and that flow.
Wow, I love that. That was probably, one of the deepest and most beautiful explorations of what style is that I've heard in a long time. So,
cool.
Thank you for that. That was really epic.
Do you struggle with your paddle power? Well, I can go months without surfing and roll to pumping waves and surf 3-hour sessions multiple times a day after day after day, by using the Basis Paddle Trainer. It was a total game changer for me, and it can be for you too. These things actually work, unlike elastic resistance bands. You can train your paddling anytime, anywhere, so you can catch more waves and have more fun. Just 10 to 20 minutes a couple times a week, and you're going to be in insane paddle shape, right? So remember, the key progression is more waves, and the key to more waves is more paddle power. Check it out at surfbasis.com. You're going to be stoked.